it caught me completely. It didn't caught me off guard. It didn't catch me off guard. We had Keyshawn's injury. You take him out of practice. Kotsar misses 2 days of practice. Jermaine misses practice. So all of a sudden, we went from the exhibition game. Our demeanor, our preparation just took a serious dip, and we have not been remotely close to the team that we were for the first 5 weeks of practice. And then yesterday we were decent at practice, but like I just told the team, and when I mean what we're doing, it wasn't the making shots and all that, just our enthusiasm, our attention to detail. Like we just played, we never put up a fight. Other than Trey Hannibal, nobody put up a fight defending the ball. And that was the most important part of our game plan going in, is that they spread you out and they just drive you. And we have to be good on the ball, or we put up no fight. So we got put on constant rotations, and then they got offensive rebounds. So when we had an opportunity to get a rebound, we wouldn't get it, so we couldn't run. So in the second half, we were a little better on the ball, not much better, but what we were better were in our backside rotations, and we actually fought for rebounds, which allowed us to get out and run and scored a couple baskets there to kind of create some separation. By the way, Wildens Levesque, I can't remember what day. Was it Saturday's practice or Monday's practice? Yeah, he felt had a pretty nasty tripped and had a pretty nasty fall, and he bounced up and finished practice. Practice ended. He went to the trainer and said, "Hey, my toe really hurts," and his right big toe was just huge and swollen. And the next day, we actually that night, late at 9 o'clock at night, we did X-rays, MRI, the whole thing. There was no fracture, nothing. So he couldn't practice yesterday. And then today at shoot-around, he got cleared. They put an orthotic or something inside his shoe so his toe wouldn't bend. And then the way the game was flowing, we were so bad defending the ball that it would have put him in a bad place. Just as a freshman that hasn't practiced against a team that's so small and so fast. So let's get him healed so he can practice the right way for 3 days and get him ready to go on Sunday.
Frank, Justin obviously had a great night, double-double, kind of was instrumental in that big run. You guys had to put the game away. But, you've seen him kind of be waiting for this moment after sitting out so much of last year. Just how excited was he, and did you have any worry about him maybe being too nervous going into this game?
Yeah, he's the only guy we've had in practice that's competed at a high level. And that's why last year when he went down, that hurt. It's his spirit. It's who he is. It's who he is as a teammate. He's always got a positive demeanor and a positive voice, trying to get others to follow him. I just told the team, he's the guy that played with that same enthusiasm that he's always had. So guess what? Statistically, he impacted this game in a positive way. I ended up playing him at the 4 a lot today because when I made the decision I was not going to play Wildens, and that decision was made during the course of the game. It was not made before the game. I just said let's go because they're so small, and we were so bad defending the ball that I said let me just go a little smaller here and see if we can figure out a way to keep the ball in front of us. It's my biggest disappointment is I think he had more rebounds by himself than all our other big guys that played put together. That's a little disheartening. But credit Justin. He impacted the game with big-time offensive rebounds, running down the court, getting those, we call it the fill guy, who's the first guy down the middle, running down the court in the fill, got 2 layups off of that. One was he just caught a shot at. The other one he got down. Our guard drove. They dropped it on him. He scored, made his free throws. Can't miss 17 free throws and have 20 turnovers and expect to play well.
On Monday, you told us you wanted to see some sort of identity on offense, kind of get a feel of what that is. Do you have a feel of what that is, or was it too sloppy tonight?
This is a hard team. It's a hard team for for us to play against on a day where we were not as sharp as we need to be because of how they play defensively. That constant pressure, those random traps that are coming. I thought we did a good job of handling that. I thought we did like the same way I'm telling you we struggled to guard them. Their guards never let our guards get anywhere with the dribble. So it was hard for us to run offense. Our guards' inability to get the ball to places we got to get it so we can try to run the offense we're trying to run. But you know, our post presence was never in play. We saw it towards the end with Alonzo a little bit, where he gives us a presence at the rim with the high-low score, with the reverse layup. You know, it's just he misses free throws. He's got to make them. He's a better free throw shooter than what he showed there today. We've got to be better. We just him and Coach I expected him to be really bad today because he didn't practice with that cold. And then, like yesterday, we had the old Mike Coach tripping on his feet, falling down, ball hitting him in the head. So I've seen that movie before. So I didn't expect him to play well today. But like I told him, he's had the best preseason he's had since he's been here. So figure out a way to get yourself back in a good place.
The final media time out of the first half, y'all were down, being out rebounded by 7. You finished, I think, up 15 the rest of the way. Do you have any words for the guys in that huddle, or what changed at that point?
Yeah, if I repeat those words, you guys will probably write an article to try and get me fired tomorrow. So, I'm trying real hard to keep those words private in the huddle so the people in the upper deck don't hear them anymore. But they just were out playing. We had no fight. At the end of the day, those first whatever minutes of the game, we had no fight. We wouldn't guard. We wouldn't go rebound. We wouldn't rotate defensively. Since we're not guarding the ball, now you got to rotate. And our rotations were late. They were lazy. And then the ball, they missed shots. Some shots were open and they missed. Some shots we actually tried to contest and they missed. But then every time the ball came off the rim, we didn't get it. I was pleased that that's the one thing I thought we did better as the game unfolded was we rebounded on both ends a little bit better. Our whole disposition was not really good coming into this game, and our level of preparation was off. And we can sit around and say, well, we had a cold and the sniffles or whatever. I think you guys all understand. You're going to have the sniffles as you go through life. You better get out of bed and go work. If not, you're going to end up in the unemployment line. And, some of our guys need to understand that.
Frank, you mentioned Justin playing a little bit at the 4. That's something that you really trusted Sin to do when he was here. Does Justin have that level of trust that you could put him any level on the spot and say, I trust you to do that?
Yeah. When you were asking me that question, I was looking at you. Did you guys, have reserved seating in here or something? For 8 years, you all sit in the same chairs. I mean, I know your names by now. It's not my first year. You guys can try and confuse me, move around a little bit. I've practiced him some at the 4 lately. I had not practiced him much at the 4. When Coach was out of practice, I had to put Justin at the 4 some. That's the great thing with having a guy that's got a little experience is that you can kind of adapt on the fly sometimes. And, is that something I'm going to do more as we move forward? I think that's more of a gut feel as depending on the opponent and the way the first-year big guys are practicing. It's we got to have a better 3 days of practice than what we did.
You had to wait a year for Jair and Jermaine. Just what did that duo kind of give you tonight?
Jair needs to be more aggressive. And I'm not talking about shooting the ball. I'm talking about his demeanor defensively, his demeanor with the ball in the open court. He's got to be more aggressive. He's got a bad habit that he wants to play at his own pace. and he's got to, it's part of his learning process. He's got to get out of that. He's got to play at our pace. And Jermaine, Jermaine's got to understand. Jermaine, I don't think he missed a shot yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember. We were so bad in practice that all those days are all just kind of mangled up for me. But he was ridiculously good offensively. He's our best perimeter defender. He might have been our worst perimeter defender today. First game out, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna give him I'm not gonna, if he does this again the next 3 days in practice, and I won't be saying this on Sunday after the Wyoming game. It's he's a really good player, and he's the toughest, most consistent, toughest guard on our team, and he's got to play that way. And the two guys used to ask me about when we kind of popped the game open, who the two guys jumped up and made threes. Those two guys, and they're going to do that for us as the year goes on. They got to understand. Jair's got to understand the pace I'm asking him to play at, and Jermaine's got to understand how to put those days together.
Jalen obviously played a little bit at the 5 a little bit. Just what have you seen from him and the energy he brings to this team, and do you anticipate him playing, or what about his skill set translates well to that center spot?
Jalen's a tremendous kid. He reminds me a lot, those of you guys that have been sitting in your assigned chairs for 8 years, of Chris Silva as a freshman. Has no idea of anything that we're doing. None. And I'm trying really, really hard to get him to understand. But he's a great kid. He cares. He calls me like every day, like, I need to come see you because I don't understand. I say, come on. And what I tell him is over and over, like, Jalen, here's the deal. You're going to get confused. I understand. It's part of the deal. All freshmen go through this. What you can't do is not play with that aggressiveness that you possess. When you see the ball, go get the ball. When we shoot, go rebound. Defensively, work your tail off and understand what we're trying to do. And as you grow, you'll keep playing because of those things, and that's why you saw him out there. Now he's got to he's got to get the mentality of he's an instinctive basketball player, but this team wants you to dribble the ball 80 feet. That's what they want you to do, and he fell victim to that, and that's part of his maturation process. But he's going to help us win games. He's an unbelievable kid. I'm going to keep playing him, and I'm going to keep aging in dog years in the meantime. But that's okay. It's all worth it. I signed up for the job.
Frank, what did you see from UNA? I mean, they're missing shot after shot after shot, and you look up at 15 minutes left, they're down 4 against you guys. Is that kind of an extension of Tony's personality and philosophy?
Tony's teams are not good. I just told our players, I remember when our team used to play with that kind of aggression, with that relentless mindset. We didn't play that way today. That's why Tony and I coach together. We understand those things. I'm so happy for him because he's worked so hard to earn his way in this business, and North Alabama's given him that opportunity. And his teams will play that way. He's got a lot of first-year guys, and they're learning how to play as hard as they need to. The hardest thing as a coach you manage with first-year guys is getting them to play really hard and not foul. You want them to be aggressive, so you're asking them to get after people. But those first-year guys think getting after people is going up there and bumping. They'll clean that up because it's what he does. But I'm not surprised. It's who he is. It's who that program is going to continue to be. They're going to win a lot of games. They've got a level of toughness and aggression that can overcome. Like I was talking about our guy Jalen McCrary, they can overcome the early season lack of understanding. But North Alabama's going to be a team that people are going to have to deal with, in their conference and moving forward.
You get 13 minutes out of Trey Hannibal today. I think he went into the first half. He had some foul trouble with the guards with AJ and Jermaine. I think both picked up two. But the spark he gave you during that run, is that kind of a glimpse of what he can give you maybe defensively? Is that where he's going to earn his minutes on the floor this year?
Yeah, I tell him every day, he's got to learn what we're doing. It's the days of just gambling, going for a steal, and breaking your team defense down. You can't do that anymore. Of offensively not knowing what structure we're running. Just give me the ball, I'm going to do my thing. It doesn't work, man. You think that's going to work against Kentucky and Tennessee and all those guys? And he's got to mature that way. The one thing that he did do today, he's the one guard that actually put up a fight and guarded the ball. So he created some loose balls for us. He went out there and said, you're not going to screen me and you're not beating me off the dribble. And he gave us life, and that's, credit him that he was able to do that. He just, he's like all young kids. They're worried about the YouTube moment rather than worrying about making the right play. And that's where his growth has to come. But just like Jalen, that's one thing about this team. I got some really good dudes. They're really good dudes. I told you guys, we're immature. And immaturity doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Immaturity has different phases to it. And the phase that the immaturity on our team struggles with is the learning part. The mental discipline to come in and learn so we can get better. It's because we think that the stuff we did in high school can work here, and they're not going to work here.
Coach, I know on Monday you were a little worried about your guys being able to come out injury-free and healthy after this game. Do you feel a little bit more relieved now that, nobody really came out injured, that you're going to be able to get back to work with these guys, being able to work on what you really need to work on in preparation for your next game?
Have I ever not answered a question here? Yes. It must have been yours. I kind of don't want to answer that question. I feel like I'm going to be jinxed. I think I'm going to be jinxed. The water in the air on this campus, guys get hurt every time you say something. Not you, me. No, Wilden's is fine. Obviously, we know where Keyshawn's at. We need to get this little, I feel bad, I got the sniffles demeanor out of our system. That's part of our immaturity. We need to get back to competing and doing those things. And to do that, you can't worry about injuries. You got to go out there and do it. We're healthy right now. We don't have any injuries. There's no nicks, no knacks, other than Wilden's toe and obviously Keyshawn.
Guess AJ maybe didn't have the most productive night on the stat sheet. Does that give you a little bit of optimism knowing that maybe one of your best players didn't have the night he expected to have and you guys still?
Yeah, it was too laid back. Just when you go, I don't know about you guys, but I've been in some uncomfortable places in my life. And you walk in and the guy you get ready to dance with is a buzzsaw and you're laid back, you won't get thrown around. And he didn't come in with the mindset that he needed to have today to deal with the aggression that the North Alabama guys played with. And he's an unbelievable kid. He's unbelievably talented. I am not worried about AJ, but he needs to learn from this today. He was consumed with let me not say what I think he was consumed with because I haven't talked to him about it. But he just didn't. He didn't play with the aggression that he needs to play with, and you step into that ring, man, and you get ready to fight. I don't know, but you guys remember Manny Pacquiao? Not Manny Pacquiao. Tasman. Pacienza. You gonna fight that dude? And you just gonna walk in and like jab and dance around? Shoot, you gonna take 900 shots to the head, man. You got to fight. And that's what we played against today. We played against the Paz man, and we wanted the jab, and he just kind of destroyed us. And we got to get out of that mindset.
I know you've talked about some sloppiness tonight, but what did a season open victory at home mean for the team going forward?
Yeah, I told our guys after the game, I was pretty simple that, winning's always better than the alternative. But your joy can't come out of the score of the game. Your joy has to come on your ability to perform because you prepared a certain way. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Your joy can't be on whether you win or lose. Your joy has to be on, like, we did things the right way, and we went out and did it the way we prepared, the way we've been coached to do, the way that we deserve to do it for one another. And then whether you win or lose, you get excited about your team so you can go at it again the next day. And that's kind of, like I wasn't in a real good mood in the locker room. I didn't yell or none of that stuff. It's game one. I didn't want them. Everyone thinks I am the Grinch, but our emotions cannot be tied to winning and losing. We signed up for this. We know when we win, you feel good, and when you lose, it's misery. We understand that. But our emotions have to be tied on who we are every day, so we can be proud of the guys that we're doing our work with. And our team doesn't understand that right now. They were great. I'm telling you, after first 5 weeks of practice, I have not been happier with a team in my 12 years as a Division I head basketball coach. But the last 5 days, we were bad. It's just, there's no other way to word it. And it's not the talent, it's not the ball going in the basket, it's our demeanor, our enthusiasm, our mind. We didn't control the things that we can control, and that's, and you got to understand, I want all my guys to be Chris Silva. Lead the team in community service, first team all defensive player, first team all league player, learned to speak English while he was getting a college degree. I want all my guys to be Chris Silva. That's my whole deal. Thank you.